This is a Credit Commando coming at you live once again. I got an exciting topic for you today. And it said, I don't have a crisis. Why? Because I got emergency plan. This is part one. If you have an emergency plan, you got some things going on. You probably there more than most people. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about what is the emergency plan, the goals of emergency plan, how emergency plan ease financial burden through during crisis, how emergency plan help individuals and families reach the financial goal, creating an effective emergency plan, and a bonus I have for you, how not to make your how not to make your financial crisis worse. What to do in the financial crisis not to make it worse. Because when you're in a financial crisis, you don't want it to be worse. You want to get out as quick as possible. You don't care who's helping you. You don't care where the money is coming from. You just really want out. I just want out. I got ideas. I got to do some work. I got the plan. I got the research. I need some power. I got to have some success. I need some ideas. I just want to get out. When you're bogged down in debt, situation, please mute your phone. You want to get out. You don't have a crisis. I don't have a crisis. I have a plan. Okay, you are protected when a financial emergency happens. Are you protected when a financial emergency happens? Are you protected when a financial emergency happens? Okay, let's talk about this. All right, there we go. All right, our objective again. What is emergency plan? The goals of emergency plan. How emergency plan ease financial burden during a crisis. How an emergency plan help individuals and families reach their financial goal. And a creative and effective emergency plan. Imagine you are going through life, budgeting, managing expenses, doing all the things that you're supposed to do right. You go to work, you get your paycheck, you come in, you pay your bills off, you got some savings, you got some emergency plan, you're doing a little investing, okay? You may have a little vacation that you want to go on. And then suddenly, an unexpected strike happens in your life. What if your car just broke down and the cost of repair is several $100s? Maybe that you have emergency and you have to go to the emergency room. You might have to have surgery. What if you just had an accident and it was not your fault, but now you have to go to the doctor and you off for work and you only have so much sick time, okay? Or even worse, what if you just lost the income totally? Without an emergency plan, these situations will definitely lead to debt. And believe me, stress. And also long-term financial setbacks. But if you have an emergency plan in place, you have the financial cushion to absorb these shocks, okay? To absorb these misfortunes, okay? You have the cushion to easing the immediate financial burden. Come with the Credit Commando. We're going to show you how this works, okay? But first, before we go there, I got a bonus for you. If you're watching to the end, I'm going to show you how not to make your financial crisis worse. Okay? How not to make it worse. I'm going to give that to you. And I got about 9 or 10 points that I'm going to give you to show you how to not make it worse. But you have to stay watched into the end. Okay? Let's talk about it. Credit Commando disclaimer. The information provided in this class is for educational purpose only and should not be construed as financial advice. Investing in financial markets involves risks, including the risk of loss of capital. The content presented in this class is intended to provide general information and educational content about investment principles, strategies, and techniques. Remember this, please be aware that past performance is not indicative of future results, and historical market data should not be relied upon as a predicator of future performance. Okay, this is for educational purpose only. All right, let's move on. Before we go, the Credit Commando want to give you just a little word of wisdom. Okay, stop distraction by being focused. Are you focused on what you're doing? Stop distracting by being focused. and it really encourages you to concentrate on the one important task at a time. Now, I know we multitask and we do a lot of different things, okay? But even through opportunities and responsibility, compete for your attention. Everything out there is competing for your attention. So, where are you going to focus your attention on? Okay? So, remember, you got to stop. You got to stop, distraction by being focused, okay? Focus, okay? In the world of multitasking and constant options, if you focus on one task in front of us, you can be more effective and you can achieve better results. Here, let's talk about it right quick. I got a couple of points that I want to give you right quick. Why you should stop distraction by being focused. Why? One is it improves the quality of work. When you focus on one task, you work more thoroughly. You avoid mistakes that often happen when you're doing 4 or 5 different things at the same time. Okay, when you're switching back from one to another, some people can do it, some people can't. If you're not that person, maybe you have to stay focused on one task. Focus ensures we give our best effort, not a portion of our effort, but to give our best efforts, and it leads to higher quality results. You may be able to do a better job by focusing on one task. Now, I know we do multitasking again, but multitasking divides your attention between several projects. And sometimes it leads to superficial work. So you want to improve the quality of work? Do one thing at a time. I know in this world it's going to be kind of hard. Number 2, you want to increase productivity and effectiveness. When you stay focused on one task, a lot of times it reduces the time lost between switching from one task to another task because you are focused, you know where you are, and you know what you're doing, okay? So, tell you the truth about it, studies have said that multitasking can reduce productivity up to 40%. So that means you're doing 2 or 3 things at once, and you're not doing well at either one of those. You're only giving 33, and 33% to each one of those, when you can give 100% and you can do much better. Because why? The brain needs time to reinvent itself, to reorient itself, to rest. The brain needs time to shift between one task and another task. So focusing on one task from the start allows you to finish quicker, and you have a smoother completion time. So that's number 2. Number 3, stop distraction by being focused. It reduces stress and mental fatigue. Lord knows we don't need no stress. We have enough stress as it is. Just trying to work and pay the bills, just trying to keep the kids in school, just trying to pay the mortgage. Just trying to do just simple things. You have enough stress. You don't need no added stress. Trying to handle too many things at once can be mentally exhausting. It can be mentally exhausting, and it can weigh on you. And it can also increase your stress level. But you're focused on one task, you have the pressure of managing one specific thing at a time. Okay, which makes you easier to stay calm. It makes you easier to stay organized. It makes it easier to get the job done. This approach fosters a clear mindset and improves your inner well-being. You're not stressed. You're not mentally fatigued. Okay, by focus on the task in front of you, enhance the quality of your work. It boosts productivity and reduces stress, making us more successful and balanced in the long run. That's the Credit Commando word of wisdom for the day. Stop distraction by being focused. Okay, let's talk about what we're here for today. What is an emergency plan? Glad you asked. Well, emergency plans manage unexpected expenses or loss of income. That's what it manages. Unexpected expenses or loss of income. We talked about the car accident. We talked about the loss of job, the lower your salary. That's what we talked about. It also set aside a specific amount to overcome the unexpected expenses or the loss of income. So when you have that we have that amount set aside, it helps you to be less stressful, and you can focus more on what you're doing. Okay. Also, it saves and reserves for crisis. Okay, it saves your brain for a crisis. You don't have to be out there doing all kind of weird things and stuff like that. Doesn't matter, and you're getting yourself stressed all out. Okay, so it helps you save, for the crisis that is at hand. Okay, it does. So it protects against a couple of different things. Here we go. If you have an emergency plan, you have a job loss. Man, the job may be lost, but you still have the money to help pay the bill. What if you have a salary that you got the same job, but someone else comes in, another company comes in, and they bought the company out, and they decreasing everybody's salary. Now you can quit, but you got 3 years from retirement. Now you're losing X amount of dollars a month. What do you do? Okay. What about medical emergency? Okay, the doctor bills. You had a trip and fall and you broke your ankle, and now you have to go to the emergency. Okay, you go to the hospital. You need an emergency plan for that. A financial emergency plan would be the key. I was just driving my car the other day, and the car just stopped. Smoke started coming out the hood, and I need car repairs. What if I didn't have money to do that? What would happen then? Okay, it protects against home repair. Appliances go out any given time. They usually last 10 to 15 years. Okay, now they last about 5 to 7 years, and they are going to go out. If the thing says guaranteed for 7 years, on that 7 years or 7.5, get ready to buy a new one because it's going out. Okay, what about just accidents? Just an accident in the home, in the car, at work. Okay, kids have an accident. Okay, family member have an accident. Emergency plan protects against that. My question to you: without warning or time to prepare, that's when these things come up. They don't give you a warning. Oh, I'm going to lose my job. They don't tell you that. You get the pink slip. They don't tell you get a salary decrease. You go into the supervisor's office and say, well, here, this is your salary now. We got a new company. The medical emergency. I wasn't planning to break my leg on this particular day. The car emergency. The car didn't say, oh, I'm on Tuesday morning, January the 2nd, at 6:45 a.m. in the morning. While you going to work, I'm going to break down. The car doesn't give you a warning. The home repair. These things happen. So you have to have an emergency plan, okay, in place to help those things, okay? It'll help you, all right? Let's look at the 4 key elements against of an emergency plan. So that's 4 key elements. Number 1 is emergency plan. It's a primary component of the emergency plan. It typically is a savings account. You got to have some place to put the money. Savings account, money market account. We talked about this in our last video about 2 weeks ago about savings account. Talk about the banking situation, banking for beginners. Go look at that video to learn about where to put your money at. Okay, so the experts are recommending 3 to 6 months. But now I'm gonna tell you, this is Credit Commando. I don't like these what the experts recommend. I like to do my own. I like to have a year. And the reason why I'm saying that, because when COVID hit, we didn't know when we were gonna go back to work. Sometimes we didn't know where the money's gonna come in. If the government didn't step in and help, that don't mean the government gonna do it this time. We don't know what was going on. The company's shutting down, places going down, food and stuff going up. We don't know. You don't know. You just don't know. But I guarantee it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Now, I know it's going to be hard to do a whole year, but you can start working at it, okay? Start putting your bills together and see what they come to and just start saving towards it. But if you got 3 months, that's better than nothing. If you got 6 months, it's better than 3 months. If you got a year, it's better than 3 months or 6 months or nothing. So the more you have, the better you will be, okay? Let's talk about clear criteria for emergency, okay? You need to know when emergency is. You need to know when to use your emergency fund. Is it crucial? Is it time to use emergency? Well, I want these shoes because I got to go down to the party. Is that emergency? If you don't make the party and you don't get the shoes, is you gonna lose money or something? Something that's gonna really happen that's gonna cost you more money? Okay, is that emergency? You gotta determine what is emergency, and your funds should be used for only real emergencies and not everyday expenses or everyday minor wants. Okay? I want this. I want that. I got a little money. Let me go get it. I want it. I want it. I want it. And next thing you know, your emergency plan is the ding, zippo. It's all gone. And you have an emergency. What's going to happen then? How do you handle emergency with no money? Regular contributions. So you have to decide when you're building this emergency fund, you got to take time. Okay, you got to schedule regular contributions, with it monthly contributions, weekly contributions, daily contributions. You got it like that, okay? But it don't have to be just large sums. It could be a small amount, but you got to schedule something, because if you don't put nothing back, you're not going to have an emergency plan. Okay? You need to make periodic reviews. Okay, why? If the plan needs to be changed, it's okay. It's a living, breathing, working document. Okay, it can be adjusted over time. Okay, the family grows or the family decreases. Okay, the kids get out of college, the kids going in college. Okay, the car is new or the car is old. All right, so you can increase and decrease this thing based on your needs. Okay, and only you're gonna know what your needs are. So those are 4 key elements of an emergency plan. Now let's talk about the goals of an emergency plan. Why do it really matter? Why the emergency plan really matter? I don't need no emergency plan. I mean, I'm sorry to sit up. I don't worry about the emergency. I got things going on. Why do I need an emergency plan? Why does it matter? Well, we talked about the peace the other day, not long ago. We talked about that earlier. Offers peace of mind by providing financial cushion during tough times. Don't you want that peace of mind, or do you want to be stressed out? Now, I don't know about you, but I like peace of mind, okay? Because it gives you the opportunity to make tough decisions during tough times. And it protects you from making a foolish decision during a tough time if you have an emergency plan. Okay? It also having an emergency plan and facing the unexpected expenses more confident. I got confidence. I know I got an emergency, I got this, but I'm looking at this plan over, I got this over here, I got to put all this together. You can strategize. Okay? You can strategize on the things that you want to do during an emergency. But if you ain't got one, guess what? You don't have a safety net to fall back on. And that's all the emergency plan is. It's basically just a safety net for unexpected expenses, okay? So you can fall back on. So you don't have to go back and panicking and wondering where, stealing from Peter, trying to pay Paul, robbing John. And everybody is only getting pennies on a dollar and you have none at all. So an emergency plan will help build your confidence and your peace of mind. Okay, let's talk about it. How an emergency plan eases financial burden. It really do. What do you do when you have a financial crisis? Do you cream? Do you cry? Do you run amok? Do you go to, what do you do? What is your safe place when you have a financial crisis? What do you do when you have a financial crisis? Where do you go? Okay? Do you go to high interest credit card? Oh man, the average credit card interest in America is about 25%. That means 25% on every dollar. And you're gonna pay that until you pay out the money that's owed on high interest credit card. What about, I got personal loans, okay? But you're already stressed out from not having the money. So you're gonna go get a personal loan, but what if they don't approve it? And then there's going to be a hard inquiry on your credit report that will make your credit score go down, and it's going to be an entry on your credit report. All these things, if you think about them early enough, you don't have to do that. Okay? You don't have to use high interest credit card. You don't have to do personal loan. All you got to do is just save a little bit. What about borrowing from friends and family? Oh Lord, I've always borrowed from Uncle John. He always let me have when I need it. But what about this time you go to Uncle John and Uncle John don't have it? They may have be in a crisis too. Okay, they might be living from paycheck to paycheck, just like you living from paycheck to paycheck. What are you gonna do? These are things that nobody teach you or tell you about. But what are you gonna do? You have to make a decision because you need whatever thing is broken fixed so you can continue on with your life. All right, forget that. Let's go to the pawn shop, baby. Pawn shop is just a loan company, providing secure loans for people who are in financial crisis. That's all they do. You're in a financial crisis? Yeah, they go to a pawn shop. All they do, they take your personal property for collateral, and they put a pledge against your personal property. Okay, then when you got to come back and pick it up, you got to pay extra, the interest. Okay, so your personal property, they say it was worth $70, and then you got to come pick it up. It might be $85, and that could be a month, or that could be a week, or something like. And the longer it is, the more you gonna have to pay because you have their money. Okay. So, another thing too, the item, if you don't pick the item up, it can be sold at a higher price and you can lose whatever you put in the pawn shop. Okay? Because the company wants this money. All right, you got that. Let's try the next one. You're going to sell your personal item. Or you're going to call friends and family and co-workers and neighbors, you're going to sell your personal stuff. I got this TV that I paid $1,500 for. I'm just asking for $400. And I just bought it last year. Look how much that you are losing when you could have just saved just a little bit, put in an account to have some money just in case something happens. Okay? Let's do another. Payday loans, baby. Payday loans to make the short-term loans. None less than 2 weeks until the payday, okay? And give individuals to make ends meet, okay? From payday to payday. That's all it is. It's a vicious cycle, and you got to get out of that. Okay, say, for instance, you make $700 a week. You fell short on this bit this week, okay? And you need some money. So guess what? You went to the payday loan company. They say they'll loan you some money. They say they'll charge you 35%. Now, you only got $200. And 35% of $200 is $70. So bi-weekly, you got to go pay them the $200 back plus the $70. And guess what? Now you're short again. And you get in that vicious cycle again. Every payday, you're paying extra money to them. They loving you. I would love you too. You give me that amount of money. They loving you because they understand they have a business and they're in the business of lending money, but it's a vicious cycle. Get out the cycle. Don't get in the cycle. Stay out of the cycle. And if you're in the cycle, get out of the cycle. How about car loans? Car title loan. The vehicle is used to make the loan. Your title is used as collateral until you can pay the loan back, okay? So if you don't pay the loan back, you have an opportunity to run it or losing your vehicle, and maybe more than that. Maybe more than that. If your car is your main mode of transportation, and you go to work in it, you get groceries in it, take the kids to schools in it, you have other family members depending on you, and you lose your car, you might lose more than just the car. All these people might be depending on you. So you have to look at that. Why is the emergency plan so important? You don't want to pay high interest. You don't get personal loans. You don't borrow from friends and family. You don't sell your personal items. You don't want to go to payday loans. Pawn shop is out of the world. Okay, and title car loans are too much. You don't want to do that. So you just want to be able to save a little bit of money every now and then to do it. Is it worth it to put a strain on your relationship? Is it worth it to put a strain on your relationship? Your financial relationship with the banks? Your relationship with your family? I say not. If you can save you $10 or $15 a week, that's a start. and keep on until you start saving more and more. And eventually you can save it to $1,000 or even more. Okay? How emergency plan works. How emergency plan help reach financial goals. With an emergency plan, we're going to talk about with the emergency plan first. With an emergency plan, it's crucial for reaching long-term goals. Why? Because you have a savings plan. You have a savings plan. With reaching long-term goals, you got to put something in progress. So you have a savings plan. So you know exactly what you're doing, how much you're saving, and about how long it's going to take you to get there. Okay? When funds are set aside for specific, for emergency, it is less likely to dip into savings and other investments. Now, remember, if you got other money over there and you're in an emergency, what you going to do? You're going to draw that money out. You know what? You're going to draw that money out. You got a savings account, it's not for emergency. Or you got an investment fund that might be for retirement, whatever. You're going to start pulling on that money. Why? Because you need it. And these funds are not designated for that. They're designated for your future goals, vacation, second home, retirement, whatever else you have. It's not for emergency, especially your retirement. Because if you live long enough and retire, you're going to want a retirement account. Believe me, so some people depend on Social Security, and it's not going to be enough. If you're dependent on Social Security, well, Social Security is going to take care of me. If you can afford $600 or $700 or $800 a month in this economy, and that's all they're going to give you, you good. Social Security is only a supplement. It's called Social Security supplement. It is not to be maintained as your full retirement goal, or full retirement fund, or full retirement pay. It's not meant for that. It's just a supplement of your retirement. So you can't base it on Social Security. And if you do base it on Social Security, I hate to tell you, you might not be the best thing going for you. Okay? Without an emergency plan, let's talk about that. How an emergency plan help to reach a financial goal, but you got a financial goal without an emergency plan. That's happening. People might end up pulling money from retirement account, pulling money from educational funds, pulling money from other savings, okay? And you're derailing your financial future, which is going to cause your financial future to go bankrupt. That's a possibility. Financial future can go bankrupt. Why? Because you've already had all these things set up for a later date, for a specific time, to do something. And now, what are you doing? You are pulling that money out, okay, and using it as emergency when you could have saved $5 to $10 a week. And over a long period of time, you could have $1,000 or more, okay? You also, when you pull that money out of retirement, you're going to incur a penalty. Okay, normally in retirement savings, they're going to charge you a 10% penalty and 20% taxes. So this is kind of normal. It's a generalized. So depending on what kind of retirement fund that you have. So they're going to charge you 30%. You're going to pull out $100,000. They're going to charge you $30,000 to pull your money out. You're going to pay taxes, and you're going to pay an interest fee. Nope. I do emergency plan. $30,000 is too much money to lose. Okay? Create an emergency plan. Now, we're going to talk about this probably next week. I'm almost out of time now. But I'm going to talk about next week. To set up an emergency plan, know your monthly expenses, to create a budget or spending plan, prepare a list of community resources. We're going to talk about develop a debt management strategy, talk about how to write a simple emergency plan, also communicate to your family members. All of these are fine. The hardest one on here to me, it seems like communicate to your family members to get them on board, okay? But if you got a spending plan already, this foolproof emergency plan is going to be easy because you already know what your money going in, you know what money coming out, okay? Awesome. So, hey, this is the end of the program. I don't have a crisis. I have an emergency plan objective. What is the emergency plan? The goal of emergency plan, how emergency plan eases financial burdens during a crisis, how emergency plan help individuals, families reach the goal, and create an effective emergency plan. We're going to talk about creating an effective emergency plan next week, okay? So stay tuned. This is Credit Commando channel objective. We talk about strategies to kill debt, increase wealth, how to build and increase your credit and credit score, how to build wealth through different business strategies, leaving a legacy for your family, and all effective income strategies. That is the Credit Commando channel. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Okay? Are there any questions? It is question time. It is question time right now. Are there any questions? Now, next week, we're going to be talking about some heavy hitting stuff, but we're going to put this plan in order. After we put the plan in order, we're going to start talking about credit reports, credit cards, how to pay off your debt. And I think we're going to do that after the next start paying off your debt. The Credit Commando has a way for you to pay your debt out quickly. All you got to do is just stay tuned. Watch Credit Commando channel.